Hey, this is Wednesday, October 2nd, regular class. We're going to get into the story you're going to remember called Man from the South. It's like that. It's on my website if you really want to see it. We're also going to talk about 9-week assessments because I handed those back. And the book report was due today. So you got that we're going to talk about here in a moment, too. I forgot. Those of you at home, you get to pause for a moment or button fast forward because I forgot I have to give 2 kids a chance to stand up and get pointy things. So we're going to stand up and do pointy things real quick. Do we have the volunteers do the character setting, plot, theme? If not, then I get to randomly pick a person. And if you've already gone, you can't volunteer to go again. And so there. Is that you volunteering, Braden? Sounds like it. And then if no one volunteers, we get to pick our next person. All right, I'll do hand signs with you. Ready? We'll help you out. Just say the words with me then. Characters?
Characters in the story.
Nice it up. Setting?
Setting.
When and where?
When and where.
Nice it done.
Plot.
Nice.
The character in the story. Whatever.
What happens?
What happens?
There you go. And? Point of view.
This one's point of view.
How we see the story.
How we see the story.
And this one? Theme.
Theme.
What we learn.
When and where.
What we learn.
What we learn.
Nice one. And? Internal.
Internal conflict.
Major decision.
Major decision.
And?
Something versus something.
Nice.
External conflict.
Go you. Got your 2 points. All right. And no one else volunteering. Braden, pick a number between 2 and 22.
11. 17. Pick up A.
He gets to pick his number.
Say 11. Between 2 and 22?
Yes. So you're going to pick our next person.
Say 11. 16.
16 it is. All right. Now pick up or down. Actually, no. We'll go for the one closest. Tie. That'll be you. We'll get to help you out. All right. Because you're only one number away from us.
Don't.
All right. We'll do the same thing. We'll help you out. We'll do hand signs and stuff like that. And characters.
Characters, who's in the story.
Hand sign. And then setting.
Setting, when and where.
Nicely done.
Plot. Who's.
What
What happens in the story.
Nicely done.
Point of view.
How we
see the story.
nicely done. And theme.
Theme.
What we learn.
What we learn in the story.
Internal.
Internal conflict.
Decision.
Decisions made in the story.
And last one.
Something versus something.
External.
External conflict.
Got you 2 points also. But now you've done it. Nicely done. Then, now we've covered the people on the one. We only have a few people left to get to pick on as we move forward. And now, those of you who are back, we're here. We'll hit play again or whatever works for you. Here's how 9 weeks thing works. On the 9 weeks assessment, if you are wanting to fix it, it is 1 if you can go up to a 13. So if you got a 12 down to 0, which I had some kids get, then you can go and improve it all the way up to a 13. I will just take the new grade. If you redo it and score worse, 1, it should be impossible, what I'm telling you here in a moment, but if you do, I just take the higher grade. It just means that you did a lot of extra work. But you can improve your grade all the way up to a 13, and then it goes in as a double grade for the whole thing from that point. Here's what you're going to do. If you want to take a look at yours, or if you did it digitally, use your remembering on this one. It should have been 8 or more sentences. That's what I was looking for.
Oh, that's
Sentence 1. What should your first sentence have been? Topic sentence. You should have gone into it and said something along the lines of, video games are affecting kids' health because of all these different reasons. So I was looking for, I literally went through and just checked off, topic sentence, made sure you said a thing. Then, you should have done affect health in some way and a support from article. The article mentioned 3 ways it affects health. What was one of the 3 ways?
Obesity.
Obesity. The next way?
Sore muscles.
Sore muscles. And the last one? Sleep. Those are the 3 things I looked for. Not any random thing you said. It was literally those 3 things. Talking about sore muscles, talking about obesity, talking about sleep. Then for each one of them, you should have had a sentence where you were supporting stuff with article stuff. So you had to say, kids are not sleeping enough, here's information from the article. Kids are getting fat, here's information from the article. Kids are having joint issues, here's information from the article. Literally, that's all it was. First sentence topic, and then reason 1, support. Reason 2, support. Reason 3, support. Last sentence was?
Ending conclusion.
That's all I was looking for. I literally went through and just checked them off. If you had that, you got all of your points. If you did not get those points, then you probably had other random things on there. If you are wanting to redo it, you are going to be submitting it via Socratic. I will send it out on Remind, and then I will give you directions there with another copy of it. And at that point, you will then be turning it in via the Socratic thing. You have until Sunday night. Bad news for you is, I'm also contacting parents, letting them know this is on Skyward. Your kids can now fix it. Directions are going to be listed here. So if your parents contact you like, hey, let's fix that thing, I'm telling you now, I'm letting them know, because my goal is to have you raise grade and do better. Garcia.
So do we have to, like, for redoing it, do we have to redo, like, the whole entire semester?
You are redoing everything. You are turning in a whole new test. And so when you return the whole new test, you're going to go on Socratic, and it's going to now have question 1, which is a multiple choice. Question 2, multiple choice. Question 3, you write essay thing. You submit the whole thing. If you did yours digitally the first time, and you would like a copy of it, send me an email, and then I will copy, paste, and send it back to you. I have them all saved. I just have no easy way to get them to you unless you just go through and send them to me first. Cozy. I mean, the most you can get back up is up to 13. So on that one, I think it's in the C range, and you can get up to like an A minus B plus range. So
There's
it's one
only
of those things
13
where it's up to you. Correct. Good job with math. Yes. Sounds like math again. And once again, it's not out of 13, it's out of 15. So
Yeah,
on there, when it says 13, that was just for the essay. And then you had the 2 points at the top, which were connected to it. So it was out of 15 points. So your grade on there was out of 15, not out of 13.
Highest you can
Which means you
only
can get up to a
is
13 out of 15 is the highest grade you can get. Yes.
So it says I got a 13 out of 13 on like the essay part.
Well,
It
no.
says I missed
That
a
means
few
your total. The number on the bottom is your total grade.
Oh, okay.
I just went ahead and it didn't give me a spot to write it, so I just wrote it down there. That is total grade. So it should not be out of 13 at the bottom. All right. Nothing else about 9-week assessments? Then yank that away. We're going to get to, story coming up. Once again, you have a quiz on Friday. Legally reminding you, telling you now that you have the book report behind you. If you're wanting to do well on quiz on Friday, which will be your last grade going on this 9 weeks, then this will be your last time to impact things. It will be a Socrative, but it's going to require you to read a story. And the one from today we're going to get into in just a moment.
Mr. Brovicast, what would it be if you got a 13 on question?
Math. So now, on the little note thing you guys had originally with the short story notes, the last thing that we have not filled in is suspense. You guys know what suspense is?
Yeah.
Yes, suspense.
What is suspense?
Like,
Suspense.
it's something we don't like.
No.
It's like when someone's like trying to like, use a bomb, and it's like, oh, they just cut like wire or something.
Not bad.
And then they fail and they die.
Or whenever I'm reading the book and I stop and you guys get upset, would be close along with suspense. Yeah?
Or basically like a cliffhanger.
Sure, I can see that too. Works for me. So it's the thing, usually, the part of the story that keeps you wanting to read more. So suspense is the thing that's going to keep you holding on. That is the last thing we had to define on that notes thing. If you are wanting to write in that last note, you're more than welcome to. If you're like, I don't care about future me, that's up to you also. That is the last, that's the one you're holding up. That is the notes. There should say anything on there that says suspense at the bottom. Does it not? Dang, I thought I had suspense on there. No, then I guess we're good to go. I thought I left a spot for suspense. I must have deleted it at some point. Micah!
Is suspense kind of like a cliffhanger?
It can be. Usually the cliffhangers where you just stop. Suspense should keep you going. By the way, in our mountain, where will suspense come in?
Resolution.
Rising action.
The rising action. Because the rising action is the part where you get that whole really exciting part. So the suspense should be the exciting part. This story we're getting ready to get into has suspense. It is probably the story I can find that is going to have you on the edge of your seat trying to figure out what's going to happen. So let's get into story and figure out from there. Braden?
May I go find my worksheet?
Not right now, but after class, yes. Samuel?
So, with the voices, like the second page.
That would have been probably suspense there also. Yeah.
The voices are pretty good.
Man from the South. It was getting on toward 6 o'clock, so I thought I'd buy myself a coat and go out and sit in a deck chair by the swimming pool and have a little evening sun. I went to the bar, got the coat, carried it outside, and wandered down the garden toward the pool. By the way, what time of day is it?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Evening or morning?
Oh, 6 o'clock.
Now here, it does not tell you evening or morning. You have to look at the evidence, which says...
It's
evening.
How would you know that?
It's
Sun.
There you go. So it
6
says
p.m.
evening sun, and he's going down to get a Coke. I'm guessing at 6 a.m. That's probably not something you're doing. So that goes back to picking up on the clues in the story.
Oh, it's 6 p.m.
It was a fine garden with lawns and beds of azaleas and tall coconut palms, and the wind was blowing strongly through the tops of the palm trees, making the leaves hiss and crackle as though they were on fire. I could see the clusters of big brown coconuts hanging down underneath the leaves. I didn't know what azaleas were, so I had to Google it. So, do you guys know what azaleas are?
No.
They're fancy flowers. So I didn't know what they were, so I Googled them also. So those were azaleas. There were plenty. Oh, and where's our story taking place? Where's he going? Close. There you go. He's walking past the garden on the way to the pool. There were plenty of deck chairs around the swimming pool, and there were white tables and huge, brightly colored umbrellas and sunburned men and women sitting around in swimsuits. In the pool itself, there were 3 or 4 girls and about a dozen boys, all splashing about and making a lot of noise and throwing a large, colorful beach ball at one another. I stood watching them. The girls were English girls from the hotel. The boys I didn't know about, but they sounded American, and I thought they were probably naval cadets who'd come ashore from the U.S. naval training vessel, which had arrived in the harbor that morning. Well, do you guys know what naval is referring to?
Navy.
Yeah, not belly button, but you guys know what a cadet is?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like a military personnel.
Not bad. It's a person in training. So when they're talking about naval cadets, they're just talking about people in the Navy who are training to be in the Navy, sort of like Navy students, if you were. And so they have a boat wherever they are, boat nearby, and these Navy kids are in the pool.
Do you know Mr. Modulin?
Yes, his son.
His son.
You are
Yeah.
correct. I went over and sat down under a yellow umbrella. Oh, also, what point of view is the story told in?
Third.
No, first.
How do you know?
Because it says I.
I knew that.
I went over and sat down under a yellow umbrella where there were 4 empty seats, and I poured my drink and settled back comfortably in a nice chair. It was very pleasant sitting there in the sunshine with my coat. It was pleasant to sit and watch the swimmers splashing about in the green water. The green, by the way, because where they are, they have ocean water in the pool. As you're going to find out in a moment, they're on an island, and instead of having like water, they just pump in ocean water, and sometimes ocean water is green, so the pool water in the hotel is also green. I want you guys to think it was like disgusting, like ewy water. No, it's just ocean water in the pool. Some fancy hotels do that. The American sailors were getting on nicely with the English girls. They'd reached the stage where they were diving under the water and tipping them up by their legs. Oh, by the way, that's called flirting, in case you were unaware of how that works out. So the boys are going in there and like throwing them in the air, stuff like that, in case you were confused. It's a thing someday you guys will do also. Just then, I noticed a small, oldish man walking briskly around the edge of the pool. He was immaculately dressed in a white suit, and he walked very quickly with little bouncing strides, pushing himself high up onto his toes with each step. He had on a large, creamy Panama hat, and he came bouncing along the side of the pool, looking at the people in the chairs. He stopped beside me and smiled, showing 2 rows of very small, uneven teeth, slightly tarnished. I smiled back. "Excuse, please, but may I sit here?" "Certainly," I said. "Yeah, go ahead." He bobbed around to the back of the chair and inspected it for safety, then sat down and crossed his legs. His white buckskin shoes had little holes punched all over them for ventilation. This guy who shows up wearing what's called a Panama hat and buckskin shoes, again, I didn't know what they were. If you know what they were, you're smarter than I am. I had to Google them. So this is what a Panama hat is that he's wearing. And I tried to find old man in a Panama hat. Apparently there's a lot of Google pictures of old men in Panama hats. And then these are buckskin shoes, like a full leather shoe.
He's the man
But-
from the West.
Because they're out on an island and it's in like this hot area, they're going to tell you where in a moment. He has taken like scissors and jabbed holes into the top of the shoes.
Like Crocs.
Yeah, like Crocs. And the reason that Crocs the way they are is because it's supposed to help your toes breathe. Because if not, your toes get all sweaty and nasty. And so if you're in like a sunny area and your toes don't breathe, you get what scientists call swamp toe. Where like your feet get all sweaty and like you're like squishy, squishy, squishy. So he's poked holes in
It's
there
like
to
Naomi
prevent getting
last year.
swamp toe.
You're in gym
Swamp
to
toes
hear
are worse.
people.
Yeah, you take your toes out before you stab them in case you're like trying to do your own toes. You're like, I got this, bitch. Oh, I made a poor choice. Yeah, you take foot out, but then you stab it so you don't freak out on that one. All right.
You're giving
A
us
fine evening, he said. They were all evenings fine here in Jamaica. I couldn't tell if the accents were Italian or Spanish, but I felt fairly sure he was some sort of a South American. And old, too, when you saw him close. Probably around 68 or 70. Yeah, and by the way, what island are they on?
Mr. Brother, come on.
Welcome back to Jamaica. Yeah.
My parents, so my mom, she's getting married next weekend.
Congratulations.
So, but they're going to Jamaica for their honeymoon.
That's where I went for mine. It's a good place.
But they're going, yeah. I don't want to go into
Yes, I said. It's wonderful here, isn't it? And who, might I ask, are all these? These is no hotel people. He was pointing at the bathers in the pool. Yeah, I think they're American sailors. I told him. They're Americans who are learning to be sailors. Of course they are Americans. Who else in the world is going to make as much noise as that? You are not American, no? No, I said, I am not. Suddenly, one of the American cadets was standing in front of us. He was dripping wet from the pool, and one of the English girls was standing there with him. Hey, are these chairs taken? No. Mind if I sit down? Go ahead. Thanks. He had a towel in his hand, and when he sat down, he unrolled it and produced a pack of cigarettes and a lighter. He offered the cigarettes to the girl. She refused. Then he offered them to me, and I took one. The little man said, "Thank you, no, but I think I have a cigar." He pulled out a crocodile case and got himself a cigar. Then he produced a knife, which had a small scissors in it, and he snipped the end of the cigar. A crocodile case is not a case that looks like a crocodile. It is a case made out of crocodile skin leather. And so I'm sure when you guys keep your cigars, it's something in like this also. And so he pulls out a case like this, and then you separate it. You can pull out your cigars. If not, then when you guys want to keep your cigars safe, somebody will get one like this too. And so that's, once again, I had to Google the crocodile case. No, I just keep my cigars fine. I keep them in like my ear and stuff like that. In my pocket, I crumble them up. It just makes it so much easier for me.
It's good.
My dad actually had cigars.
He snipped off the end of the cigar. Oh, yeah, here, let me give you a light. The American boy held up his lighter. That will not work in this wind. Sure it'll work. It always works. The little man removed his unlighted cigar from his mouth, cocked his head on one side, looked at the boy, and then stopped reading.
And everyone's like,
Tomorrow we get to our fun stuff.
So my dad, for his bachelor party,
Yes,
they went around.
I've made poor choices in my
they
past.
went to cigar place. So they smoked cigars.
Sure, you're going to make sure that gets in the trash.
But he's not.